everybody. Dr. Paul here. Have a short period of time here to play around a little bit with the video process, trying a horizontal view. And I also wanted to invite any questions about a new and revised last program available to our paid monthly members on the app that we have made and launched in the Apple App Store called Romantipedia, the Romantipedia app. It has 15 of our new and past programs. Those of you who have followed along and worked with me in the capacity of being an author with Penguin Random House in the areas of Jungian psychology and its synthesis, I think, with evolutionary psychology as it applies to the lives of males and females, biologic males and biologic females in unique ways. And that also naturally leads to thoughts of what I think is a frontier in psychology, the human courtship process. There's all kinds of articles and research from evolutionary psychology on dating, marriage, things like this, but there's no cogent, complete, teachable model, nor a psychotherapy unique to that perhaps most important area of our lives, which is love and romance, and finding a mate potentially, possibly having a family or children, depending what you believe in and like. So I wanted to address all that. And, also it's a kind of a landmark for me to have revised and completed all of our past coursework. Those of you who worked with me 20 years ago, starting in 2005, some of whom I'm still in contact with, some of whom I've lost track of because I kind of dropped out of the mainstream media 10 years ago to focus exclusively on researching these analysis style, not with patients, but rather, working with the latest research that's come out by others and synthesizing. So anyway, the last program, which I was surprised to discover in my archives, that I thought might not be modernizable because the world is so flooded with just all sociology uh, hypotheses, let's say, and really no hard science that I'm used to being able to find. The closest thing being evolutionary psychology. I was also surprised in past years, more recent years, how similar evolutionary psychology is to Jungian psychology in so many ways. It's almost an infallible case for there being all kinds of variations in cultures and in the environments that we swim in as fish, so to speak, sociology, and yet so universal, yet on a bell curve and immutable in the sense of being inborn. Feminine and masculine instincts are. So when I found this complete feminine empowerment program from 20 years ago and totally revised it, I was kind of stunned and entertained by, I guess you could say by myself, but way more by the audience and students that I worked with as an author, which was 100% women. Just how interesting it was to look at fables, folklore, and myths about female figures and female deities, except Psyche being a major one to represent developmental process of females going from girl to woman, being like kind of a foundational myth for explaining these instincts that are natural in women and how they interplay with the rest of the world, with other women, with older women, the wise woman archetype from Jung, and all the masculine instincts or masculine archetypes in the world of Jung. And it was just probably the most enriching experience I've had as a teacher by working with this large class of women so long ago. So I wanted to share that with you in this new old program called Complete Feminine Empowerment. Those of you who are paid monthly members have access to that through our app. So I wanted to share that. Let's see. I want to see if there are any questions. Flip your phone. Well, I think I got to keep it this way for now. I'll edit to flip it sideways. I guess I found out what I was wondering about, which is that Substack just will not allow a 9 by 16 layout for video editing. That's too bad. Making it this narrow strip. It's really not fit for like a refined presentation. Oh well. Thank you. Upholding the first. That's great. All right. Yeah. Well, let's see. The only other thing I would have to say about the complete feminine empowerment program and some of the myths and folklore that we looked at, which also included the handless maiden folk tale. I think a very rich source of Jungian knowledge that's so elegantly presented. You can really see the overlap and integration with evolutionary psychology. It's the old author uh, Robert Johnson, who wrote books about these exclusively masculine archetypes, feminine archetypes, and then joint universal collective unconscious concepts of Jung's. It's by author Robert Johnson. Very useful. We even quote out of Johnson in the course that I mentioned. Also, there are certain people that are very into the poet David Whyte, Whyte. Beautiful prose and poetry by him, and we cite one of the concepts from one of his books of poetry in the Complete Feminine Empowerment course too. So that was very enriching and interesting. So I wanted to point that out. All right. Well, I guess sideways view. I'll see how I can edit that, revise that, and flip it correctly. I'm curious if I can make it a 16 by 9, 16 width, 9 height ratio for you. That's what I'm after. So thanks for tolerating my little experiment and my little announcement about the Complete Feminine Empowerment course, which is a synthesis of Jungian and evolutionary psychology. All right. Thank you guys for joining. Dr. Paul here.